My name is Hawryluk. I'm an advisor, a husband, and a father. I'm passionate about my community. I grew up at a very young age down in the trails, riding, and eventually that evolved into mountain biking. Totally relate it back to Ancaster. You know, there's a ton of conservation here. One of my values for sure is being involved. I'm a member at large of the community. There's a lot of development issues in Ancaster. Monster homes and monster developments, getting rid of the heritage, which is important to me. It's important to a lot of people. So we're trying to preserve that. Ancaster is one of the oldest communities in all of Upper Canada. So there's a lot of heritage here. We're also under threat here in Ancaster as well of losing our green space. So we're trying to protect that as much as possible. The mountain biking trails fall under the Conservation Authority. I've used them since I was, 3 or 4 years old. They're important to me. If you don't use them, they get lost. I love where I came from. These are my roots. Both sets of my grandparents were somewhat entrepreneurs. Grandparents on my father's side, they left farming in Manitoba and they bought a hotel. They were told they wouldn't last a year. They went and they never looked back. Bought and sold 2 hotels and went off into retirement. My other grandparents on my mother's side, I would say a blue-collar worker. He decided to open a fish and chip shop here in Ancaster. Village Fish and Chips. People said, "You're crazy, why would you do that?" And he did it, and it's still talked about. I saw a post about it on Facebook the other day. Taking risks and, having a legacy, that's great success stories, for sure. Legacy is huge. I'm big on small details. I'm big on small details in my community, but understanding what is important to people in my community, but understanding what's important to our clients. It's important to me, just probably a little bit of OCD in me, but to me I want to make sure that the client is well looked after, and not necessarily just on the big picture items, but the small details. Nothing gets overlooked, making sure that things are cleaned up. It's important that there's no surprises, no stone left unturned. Having a close personal connection with our clients is important to me, because if I'm going to be with them for a long time, or they're going to be clients for a long time, having a close personal relationship with them allows us to be on par with them at an understanding of what's important, not necessarily just a transactional clientele. We enrich clients' lives by showing them that wealth is more than money. If a client comes to us and they merely want us to just handle their investments, they're probably not an ideal fit for us. We want to understand everything about them, everything about their family, everything about their lives, and how that wealth and that money feeds back into the rest of their lives. To us, that's important, and that's what makes it complete, and that's what Surround is all about.